English Easy Speak Pro.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Easy Speak Pro. Today, you are going to improve your English with a simple and inspiring story. This story is perfect for beginners because it uses easy vocabulary, short sentences, and everyday English. Today's story is about a woman named Sarah. Sarah was 40 years old. For many years, she lived the same life. Every day felt the same. Every week felt the same. Every year felt the same. But one day, something unexpected happened. Something small. Something simple. And that moment changed her life forever. So relax, listen carefully, and enjoy today's story. Let's begin. Sarah lived in a small town. It was a peaceful place. Everyone knew each other. The streets were quiet. The people were friendly. Sarah worked in a bakery near her house. Every morning, she woke up at 6 o'clock. She prepared coffee, she got dressed, and she walked to work. Her days were always the same. She sold bread, she greeted customers, she cleaned tables, she organized shelves. Then she went home. She watched television, she ate dinner, and she went to bed. Then she repeated everything again the next day. Sarah was not unhappy, but she was not excited either. She felt stuck, like her life was standing still. One evening, she sat by her window and watched the sunset. The sky was beautiful. Orange, pink, golden. But Sarah barely noticed. Her mind was busy. She asked herself, is this how my life will always be? The question stayed with her. And for the first time in years, Sarah felt restless. 2 weeks later, Sarah received a letter. She rarely received letters. Most people sent messages on their phones. So she was surprised. The letter was from Emma, her best friend from college. They had not spoken in 15 years. Sarah opened the envelope carefully. Inside was a photograph. The picture showed Sarah and Emma when they were 20 years old. They were smiling, laughing, dreaming. Back then, they wanted to travel the world. They wanted adventure. They wanted to see new places. Then Sarah read the letter. Emma wrote, "Dear Sarah, I hope you are doing well. I found this old photo and thought about you. Do you remember our dreams? Do you remember how we wanted to travel? I now live in London. If you ever visit, my door is always open. Your friend, Emma." Sarah read the letter again, and again, and again. London. The words stayed in her mind. That night, she could not sleep. She kept thinking about her old dreams. And she realized something. She had stopped believing they were possible. The next morning, Sarah bought a notebook. On the first page, she wrote, "My new goals." Then she made a list. Learn English. Visit London. Meet new people. Travel somewhere new. Believe in myself again. Sarah looked at the list. It was simple, but it felt important. For the first time in years, she felt excited about the future. That same day, she went to a bookstore. She found a beginner English book. It was called English for Everyday Life. She bought it immediately. That night, she opened the first page. Some words were easy. Some were difficult. But she continued reading, page after page, word after word, little by little. The first weeks were not easy. Sarah forgot words. She made mistakes. Sometimes she felt frustrated. One evening, she closed the book and said, "Maybe I'm too old." Then she looked at Emma's letter, and she remembered why she started. Not because English was easy, because she wanted change. The next day, she studied again. Then the next day. Then the next. Soon, she created a routine. Every morning, 10 new words, 15 minutes reading, 15 minutes listening. Nothing complicated, just consistency. And slowly, something wonderful happened. She started understanding more. Then she started remembering more. Then she started enjoying it. English stopped feeling impossible and started feeling achievable. After several months, Sarah could read simple English. She could understand beginner videos. She could write short messages. But speaking scared her. Every time she tried, she felt nervous. What if I make mistakes? What if people laugh? What if my pronunciation is bad? One day, she joined an online English group. There, she met a woman named Maria from Spain. Maria was learning English too. They started sending messages, simple messages, short messages, but every week they improved. Then, one day, Maria suggested a video call. Sarah panicked. She almost said no, but then she remembered her goal, so she said yes. The call was difficult. There were mistakes. Sometimes they didn't understand each other, but they communicated. And when the call ended, Sarah felt proud. Very proud. She had spoken English. And nothing bad happened. A few months later, the town announced a cultural festival. Visitors from different countries would attend. Sarah's manager asked, "Would you like to help the international visitors?" Sarah felt nervous immediately. But she also felt something else. Excitement. She took a deep breath and said, "Yes." For 3 weeks, she practiced every day. She learned useful phrases. Welcome. Can I help you? This way, please. Thank you for visiting. The day of the festival arrived. Sarah was nervous. Very nervous. Then the first visitor approached her. He smiled and asked a question in English. Sarah understood. Not every word, but enough. She answered slowly. The visitor smiled and thanked her. Then another visitor came, and another, and another. By the end of the day, Sarah had spoken English many times. Each conversation made her stronger. Each conversation gave her confidence. A few days after the festival, Sarah received an email. It was from Emma. Emma had heard about Sarah's progress. The email said, "Sarah, I am so proud of you. You are learning English. You are doing things you once dreamed about. Now I have a question. Why don't you finally visit London?" Sarah stared at the screen. Her heart beat faster. London. The dream she had ignored for 20 years. Could she really do it? At first, she thought of reasons to say no. Too expensive, too difficult, too scary. But then she thought about something. For 1 year, she had been changing. growing, learning. Maybe this was the next step. Maybe this was her chance. And for the first time, she seriously considered it. For weeks, Sarah thought about London. Every day, every night. The idea excited her, but it also scared her. Finally, one evening, she sat down with her notebook. The same notebook where she had written her goals. She looked at the first goal, learn English. She had done it. Not perfectly, but successfully. Then she looked at the second goal, visit London. She smiled. Then she opened her laptop and bought a plane ticket. For several seconds, she stared at the confirmation screen. Then she laughed and cried at the same time because she had done something she never thought she could do. Months later, Sarah arrived in London. She looked around in amazement. The city was bigger than she imagined. The streets were busy. The buildings were beautiful. The accents sounded different. Everything felt new. Emma was waiting at the airport. The two friends hugged tightly. For a moment, it felt like 20 years had disappeared. During her visit, Sarah explored the city. She visited museums. She walked through parks. She tried new food. She spoke English every day. Not perfectly, but confidently. And that was enough. One evening, while walking beside the river, Sarah stopped. She looked at the city lights and smiled. Years ago, she thought this moment would never happen. But now, she was here because she decided to try. When Sarah returned home, something had changed. Not the town, not the bakery, not the streets. Sarah had changed. She felt stronger, braver, more confident. She no longer believed she was too old. She no longer believed it was too late. She understood something important. Life can change at any age. You can learn new skills. You can follow old dreams. You can start again. And every big change begins with one small decision. Before the story ends, I want you to remember something. It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter where you come from. It does not matter how long you have waited. You can always start again. Just like Sarah. One small step can change your future. One new habit. One new skill. One new dream. And little by little, your life can become something beautiful. Thank you for spending this time with English Easy Speak Pro. If you enjoyed this story, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and continue practicing English every day. Remember, it is never too late to become the person you want to be. See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.